Imagine your normal daily life, peaceful with family and friends around you. But what if something changes all of a sudden? Familiar faces and places gone, families torn apart, and you are suddenly in a foreign land, feeling completely at a loss.
Marsha so'dini oborib, Qodirjonda uyini to'g'ri berasan deb. Bu yerga oborib, boshdan vizum qo'yib.
Men kelajagimni-chi tasavvur qilaman. Shu uylarimizni o'nglab bersa, bizni kelajagimiz bo'lsa, Qirg'izistonda tug'ilib o'sganmiz, Qirg'izistonda yashaymiz. Uylarimizni o'nglab bersa, iltimos bilan aytaman.
There are people in this world today that are not guaranteed the most basic of human rights, but living in fear. Conflicts arise due to differences in race, religion, or political opinion. There are ongoing disputes over precious resources, such as water. Conflicts, persecution, and violation of human rights force them to flee their homes and become refugees. Somalia, located in East Africa, has witnessed a grave humanitarian crisis due to prolonged internal conflicts exacerbated by a serious drought. 2.4 million Somalis, 1/3 of the population of the country, have become refugees or are internally displaced. Refugees are those who fled and crossed borders. Internally displaced persons are those who have been forced to flee their homes for the same reason, but still remain within their country. Often, placing their lives at risk, they find refuge in other countries. Many of them arrive at refugee camps, but recently, the number of refugees arriving and living in urban areas has been increasing. Refugees that live in urban areas are placed in dire circumstances, with many of them unable to attend school or find work. Even if their lives seem safe and stable, many, however, have worries. Zarni Shibuya, who works actively as a designer, came to Japan as a refugee when he was 8.
できることならば、幼い記憶として残っているすごく美しい国ミャンマー、ビルマの景色、その環境にもう一度触れたいっていう気持ちはあります。もちろん自分の祖母、祖父が暮らしてきた環境をもう一度触れたい。
In the aftermath of World War II, more than 1 million people could not return home in Europe. In 1950, UNHCR was established to protect these people. UNHCR is one of the United Nations agencies. It promotes refugee protection. The following year, in 1951, the United Nations Convention relating to the status of refugees was adopted, ensuring the protection of refugees and committing to keep them safe. A refugee may flee his or her own country and cross the border to a neighboring country. if this refugee is deported back to the homeland, his or her life will be in danger. To ensure that this does not occur, member states agreed to comply with the principles of the Convention, which serve as the legal foundation of helping refugees and the basic statute guiding UNHCR's work. UNHCR has received the Nobel Peace Prize twice. Its headquarters is located in Geneva, Switzerland. Over 6,000 staff work in over 120 countries around the world, including Japan. There are many Japanese working for UNHCR. Mrs. Sadako Ogata, having once served as High Commissioner, tackled many humanitarian crises around the world in the 1990s and issues of internally displaced persons. Renowned actress Angelina Jolie has served as the Goodwill Ambassador for UNHCR since 2001. The goal of UNHCR is to protect refugees and to find solutions to refugee problems. The protection of the lives and rights of refugees is one of the important missions of UNHCR. UNHCR quickly provides safe shelters in cooperation with asylum countries. Responding to needs, UNHCR delivers relief supplies like tents, blankets, water, and food. UNHCR continues to support them as long as they remain refugees.
So all the cup is smoking.
Like this. Like that. Like this. Good. How are you? Everything's okay? Oh, fine. We have been here for a long time. Where are you? I know.
Yeah, head is all right now.
Okay.
Yeah, problem.
Na sasa kiongozi yetu hii hapa anapenda sisi Waluya, anapenda kabila moja. So kama mimi napeleka complaint, anasema wewe mwenyewe enda kwa miko.
Okay, fine. So let's meet together anyway with the leaders and then let's talk about it. Okay?
Wacha tukutane pamoja na viongozi alafu tuongee juu yake.
Sawa.
There are over 43 million people who are forcibly displaced and in need of support. This number is equivalent to 1/3 of Japan's entire population. The number of people UNHCR supports and protects is increasing due to complications of multiple issues. There is an increasing number of people forcibly displaced due to natural disasters, and UNHCR provides emergency support for those people. After the Great East Japan earthquake, UNHCR deployed its staff to support emergency response and provided solar lanterns, plastic sheetings, and water containers. UNHCR works very closely with organizations and groups such as governments, other UN agencies, NGOs, and other experts in the field.
All my work, all my sweat, my computer, my laptop, my camera, everything, my television, everything. I left everything, all my property. Now I'm without even one dollar with me. He won't deny no money. What can I do now? I will start again. I will start afresh. What can I do?
Another important mission for UNHCR is to find solutions to refugee issues. What can we do to solve refugee problems? The most fundamental solution is to put an end to all conflicts. However, we live in a world where fightings and conflicts continue due to differences in religion and ethnic clashes. Such issues require a long time to resolve. Meanwhile, many people become refugees. UNHCR searches for 3 durable solutions. The first solution is voluntary repatriation. UNHCR provides support so refugees can go back to their homeland safely and start their new life. When that is difficult, UNHCR negotiates with the asylum country so refugees can integrate there. Finding a new home in a third country is another option. UNHCR cooperates with governments to support refugees to start a new life.
So it takes a long time for them to reintegrate into the community, and this is where the government and the UN agencies and NGOs come in.
The UNHCR logo is Carrying Hands Protecting Refugees, and it was made with hope that many hands around the world will care and protect refugees. Do you know that there are many refugees living in Japan? Marip is one of them. In 1992, Marip came to Japan alone to escape ethnic persecution in Myanmar. She met and married her husband in Japan, who was also a refugee. With her 4 daughters and husband, Marip now runs a restaurant in Tokyo. Working with the local community and college students, she is very active in trying new things. Japan has been a major contributor to refugee support, protection, and resolution of refugee issues. Japan opened its doors to refugees when the outflow of Indo-Chinese refugees in the 1970s occurred. As a result of the cooperation between the Japanese government, UNHCR, and civil society groups, approximately 10,000 Indo-Chinese refugees resettled in Japan. For the past 20 years, Japan has maintained its position as one of the top donors. But Japan's contribution is not limited to financial support. Japan has launched a pilot resettlement program. It is the first country in Asia to provide new homes for refugees who cannot go back to their homelands. The year 2011 marked the 30th anniversary of Japan's accession to the Refugee Convention. The first Diet resolution concerning Japan's continued commitment to refugee protection and search for solutions was adopted in November. There are many unique activities and programs carried out by experts, such as JICA and private companies. For example, Fuji Optical has been providing glasses to refugees and internally displaced persons around the world since 1983. For this long-standing contribution, Fuji Optical President Dr. Akio Kanai was awarded the 2006 Nansen Refugee Award. Fast Retailing Group that became UNHCR's global partner in 2011, has been offering recycled Uniqlo brand clothes to refugee camps around the world. It also started employing refugees and deploying its employees to a refugee camp. Those companies and groups have been supporting UNHCR through various activities that build on their strengths and advantages. Everyone can be a support to refugees. In Japan, the UNHCR representation in Japan and the Japan Association for UNHCR, who serves as UNHCR's official recipient of donations from the private donors in Japan, work with the government and various private companies to provide assistance for refugees. Please join our events and activities. On World Refugee Day, June 20th, UNHCR hosts events on refugee issues. In order for the public to get to know and learn about refugee issues, UNHCR also hosts various events, such as a symposium and a refugee film festival where selected films are screened. The Japan Association for UNHCR runs a donation program, the Monthly Club. Donation campaigns are carried out at public locations such as malls and train stations. Being a member of the Monthly Club can be a great contribution to UNHCR. These messages came from refugees around the world, and UNHCR delivered them to the people in areas hit by the Great East Japan earthquake. As a global citizen, one can support each other at difficult times. We ask those watching this DVD for one thing. There must be something you can do. Do one thing. Please, don't turn your back on them. Caring hands. We wish that your hands could be a part of the UNHCR logo.